Hello everyone and welcome guys to F1 2019. The real deal is here. Formula 2, more career mode expansion and options. And I'm really hyped to be getting into this game. Obviously, if you guys are new around here, make sure you do get yourself subscribed for more F1 2019 content on the channel. Luckily, very luckily, we were actually given an early copy by Codemasters to obviously make some gameplay videos on the channel, so make sure, like I said, you do get yourself subscribed because I'm really hyped for this game. And yeah, really excited to see what we can do on F1 2019. F1 2018 with Williams was a very interesting series, very fun on the whole. It was quite a grind, I'll be honest, hence why I haven't bothered picking Williams again. I'm sorry, but I'm sure already by the title you can probably tell, and the thumbnail, obviously, who we are rolling for this championship. Obviously, this first episode, we will just be going through all the F2 stuff. Obviously, there should be at least 1 or 2 more career mode videos out today. The aim is to try and do 2 a day of sort of like the standard career mode videos, and then obviously sort of a few different videos on the side as well. So yeah, really hyped for this game, and yeah, hopefully you guys are as well. Let me know down in the comments who you guys are going to be running for your career mode, you know, which teams you want to go with and everything like that. But let's move on then into earning our drive.
In F1 2019, you'll be invited to start your career by selecting a Formula 2 team. Driving for this team, you'll experience some key moments of a Formula 2 season, a thrill-packed racing championship in its own right, and the springboard to Formula 1. At the end of this feeder series, your choice of driver academy and your performance in F2 will determine the terms of the contracts offered by the teams as you embark upon your career in Formula 1 and begin to write your own chapter of motorsport history.
So here we are then, ready to pick our team for F2, and obviously it doesn't matter, it does say on here as well that it does not matter which Formula 2 team you go with. You know, you don't need to go with someone like Prema if you want to try and get a job offer with Ferrari and the such. Yeah, obviously you just pick with who you want. I'm pretty certain at the time we're recording this, you basically sort of do these things and it just adds that bit extra to career mode. You can still choose whoever you want to drive for in the F1 2019 career mode. You know, you'll get to see towards the end of this video. Obviously, when I go in to pick a seat, I don't do the best, I'll be honest with you guys. But yeah, we have gone with obviously the Ferrari Driver Academy because we want to be racing with Haas, at least for the first season or 2 of our F1 2019 career mode there. See, running 50% races, only short qualifying. I need to make sure I get that one changed for the first round of the season. 101 Ultimate AI at the moment. You know, I am a little bit rusty on the F1 games, as well as obviously no assists, anything like that. All of the, you know, settings turned up to the max as well. They can see no assists whatsoever. Gearbox, ERS, everything like that. Pits and more.
Carlin's new driver really commanding the race here. Devon Butler still ruthlessly giving chase. These two have been really scrapping it out for the early wins in the championship. And something's wrong. Butler sees his chance. Some kind of mechanical failure. Picking up speed again. It's unclear what the issue was. Can they still finish this race?
So instantly then getting chucked into the deep end here for our very first race in Formula 2. And yeah, unfortunately, going to have to make a tough call if we want to try and let our teammate through at the late stages of this race. And obviously this one, you can sort of see how it plays out for yourself, obviously, when you guys jump into this game. You know, what are you going to try and do? But me personally, I'm generally quite a team player, or at least I like to think so. And yeah, I'm just going to roll along with that one. I need to actually make sure as well, before we jump into the first proper round of the season, that I actually get the team radio playing through the Elgato. Unfortunately, it was only playing through my headset this time around, so you unfortunately missed out on a couple of radio messages. Obviously, the team just telling me, you know, we need to let him through, obviously, with the issues that we've got at the moment. But yeah, out of the final corner then and down towards the start-finish line, you can see struggling actually with a bit of understeer through the final corner here. This is my very first laps in the Formula 2 car, and I'm just going to let him straight through. There's no point in really trying to hold him up at this stage of the day there. And, you know, I'm trying to appeal to Gunther Steiner here. I can't exactly be an outrageous person on the racetrack, at least not all the time. as well. Perhaps I'm going to come in as Roman Grosjean's replacement after a couple of... Well, he usually doesn't get a particularly good start to the season there. As we're a little bit wide through turn 3, they get a huge snap of oversteer there, and Nick de Vries actually going to try and look up the inside through the next couple of corners, as well there a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between the pair of de Vries. They're very, very enforceable with that overtake, and I've got to admit, like I said, I was a little bit rusty, and these F2 cars, very, very different to drive, at least in personal experience, from the F1 cars of, you know, F1 2018 and the like. You know, obviously the main thing for me that I really, really had to focus on was actually the braking as we come into the corners. That I was obviously braking at the F1 lines, and that's, although the F2 cars certainly aren't bad under brakes, they're definitely not quite the Formula 1 car, and yeah, I was really sort of struggling with that in this first race. Just try and get to grips with it and everything like that. You know, by the second and third race that obviously will all be featured in this video, you know, we were slowly but surely getting there as well. But yeah, Nick Latifi would also fly past me there, and it would be Devon Butler who would take home the race victory in the opening round, well, the opening round of this sort of 3-race mini championship within the championship, if you will. It's all a little bit strange there. As we head out of the final corner and down towards the line, though, it's only going to be P8 to finish off the race. They're not quite what I would have wanted, but considering the turbo issues, it will have to do.
Hey, look, I know that wasn't easy letting me pass, but it was the right choice. It was good driving.
Yeah, that's how I describe it, mate. Just good, not great. 1 in 6. 1 in 6 makes the leap to F1. The other 5 are still watching their less talented teammates collect all their points. Shame, really. A lot of great drivers never get their chance because they do it all for the team.
Those teams got us here.
Yeah, but it's the drivers that take the risk. We should get the rewards. You ever won a race in F1? That's how winners think.
And remind me, how many F1 races have you won?
You watch this space. At the end of this championship, I'll be the one lifting the trophy, and I won't use my teammates to nick the podium.
Okay, I'm out. You believe what you want, Devon, but it's still early days.
He's either very clever or you're just a pushover. You really think if the situation was reversed, he'd do the same for you? You want to start looking out for yourself. No one else will.
Look at them go! Devon Butler locked in wheel-to-wheel racing with his championship rival, desperate to shut them down and stop them getting past. And there's contact! Butler simply left them nowhere to go. There was just no way for them to have avoided that. And look, there's significant damage. Not sure if that was down to recklessness or sheer aggression, but I'm sure the stewards are going to have something to say very shortly.
So jumping in then, ready for the second challenge before we make our jump into Formula 1. And this one takes us to the Red Bull Ring, and obviously after some very controversial contact between myself and Devon Butler. Honestly, quite surprised that the front wing came off in such extreme circumstances. Obviously, we have had to go to the pit lane now. Unfortunately, like I said, team radio not working, or not recording in this one, so obviously it just confirms, you know, that Devon's got a penalty as well there. And overall, I felt like we were slowly improving. You can see set fastest lap of the race there, but I think nearly a second over anyone else, obviously out on the fresh rubber at this late stage of the race, trying to get past Gunther here as we come up towards turn 2 and turn 3 here. Get a long run there in the DRS. The DRS is very, very potent in the F2 cars there. We're going to have a look up the inside of Gunther there. Are we going to be able to make it work? We do get it slowed down nice and tidy. They get a nice heap of wheel spin on the exit of the corner there. Those F2 cars very, very leery here. But yeah, this one, not much action, I'll be honest. You know, the way it was sort of set up, I think with the AI being at a very, very balanced level to myself, it meant, you know, sort of these things were a little bit more difficult to sort of get on with there. As you can see, heading on to the final lap of the race. We finally closed down the gap to Luca Giotto there, setting once again the fastest lap of the race. We're almost now sneaking into the 1 minute 15 so as we make a little bit of contact as we come through turn 1 here. Just trying to get as close as we possibly can to the back of Luca there as we come up towards turn 2 and turn 3 there. He's going to go much more defensive than Gunther had done in the past there, and sadly we just braked a little bit too late, pinched the front tyres there, and sadly going to have to take a bit of evasive action there. It's almost like the incident between myself and Devon Butler there, and yeah, Giotto does hold on for now, but hopefully we can try and get a little bit closer in towards the final few corners of this race. They're just trying to brake nice and tidily in through these corners, and yeah, really a little bit struggling as well with the braking here, probably hence why I'm running 60% brake bars there. I probably should also turn that down just a little bit in the opening few races, obviously in this Formula 2 series there. But Luca Giotto, look at that, so slow through the final couple of corners there. Alexander Albon does come through to win the race here, but we really want this P9 now. Are we going to be able to have a look up the inside of Giotto in towards the final couple of corners? We absolutely go for it. Send the dive bomb, get it parked nicely, and that's going to be us up into P9. Through the final corner we go there, and it's going to be P9 at the Austrian Grand Prix. Once again, not what we would have wanted there, and unfortunately getting a bit robbed from the incident with Butler even.
Hey, Devon, stop!
Not now, I'm busy.
Hey, what are you doing out there? Seriously.
I'm gonna celebrate my excellent driving.
We saw what you did. It was reckless. You should have been black flagged.
Yeah, and I wasn't because it was my line. You were in my space. You shouldn't have been. Next time, stay out of my way.
No, someone could have been hurt.
And that didn't happen, so what's your problem?
My problem is that your actions out there are too dangerous.
Listen, contact happens, okay? I took my penalty, but I kept it focused, kept it smooth, and came out on top. That's racing. I'm going to grovel to you every time I make a tough move. You want to play race director? Then quit driving and take the job. Until then, I don't owe you anything.
Devon, you don't get it. It's not me you should be apologizing to.
Look, you grab your space on the track, and then it's all or nothing. That's just how it goes. And anyway, you still couldn't beat me, even with my penalty. So no hard feelings, okay? Not from my end anyway. Chin up.
So here we are in Abu Dhabi. Each and every event in the Formula 2 calendar has led us here to this, the final event of the championship, and one that promises to be a spectacle every bit as exciting as we might have hoped.
So here we are then, ready for the final round of the F2 2018 World Championship, and we need a bit of a recovery drive in the final sprint race. 11 laps here to really give us the final ultimate test for career mode there, and it's 5 red lights and it's lights out and away. We don't get off to a good start there, unfortunately. Bogged down horrendously, just didn't quite get enough revs, and obviously the F2 cars, as I'm sure you guys have seen in the past, absolutely critical with that sort of thing, and very aggressive in towards turn 1 there, as I think we had, was it Giotto trying to absolutely send it up the inside there. Fuoco unfortunately squeezed out on the outside through turn 1 there, but we do hold on to P9 then. We only lost 1 place overall to Fukushima as well, as we now come down in towards sector 2 on the opening lap of this race. You can see Alexander Albon tripping over the curbs ever so slightly. We're going to have to try and go around at the outside. We do need to beat Devon Butler in this race there, and just on the exit of the corner they're really struggling. The AI, I must say, looking much stronger than they have done in the past. I know David Greco actually tweeted that a couple of days back, saying about how much better the AI are now and how much more consistent around a lot more of the racetracks there, as we go for a very late lunge on the power of them there in towards the chicane there. We are just about going to be able to hold on there. on the exit of the corner there, and that was probably one of the most aggressive Daniel Ricciardo dive bombs I think I have ever tried to pull off there. But we did make it work, and we were now back up into P7 of this race, trying to close up to the rear of my teammate Webber here as we come through turn 1 and turn 2. The onto lap 4 we go there, and really just trying to close down this gap. But like I said, you know, I actually felt I balanced the AI very, very well in this race there. And yeah, unfortunately for me, that kind of meant I was struggling a little bit to try and just get over, you know, overtakes done, because as you'll see now, just the slipstream train in Formula 2, at least in the game anyway, just so powerful there as we come out of the hairpin here. We're going to try and close up to the rear of Webber here as we make a long run up this straight. And you can just see everyone with the slipstream, the DRS, just nothing you can do to try and close in on anyone else. I don't know if the AI were running, you know, sort of altered setups. I know certainly at Austria, Luca Giotto actually had some longer gears than myself. But yeah, you can just see, unfortunately, just up the road there, Butler getting past his teammate George Russell there with ART there. And that is really not what we needed at this stage of the day there, because, you know, we're trying to close up that gap to him as well in this race. And unfortunately, he's just making as many overtakes as myself there, and just with that lack of slipstream, you know, that's working for myself, obviously with everyone sort of getting equaled out there, we were really struggling to try and make any moves work up the back straightaways here. So we're going to have to try and go for a bit of a different attack strategy here as we come through turn 1 and turn 2. They're trying to close it to the rear of my teammate there. We're actually going to send it up the inside as we come in towards sector 2. They're a little bit of a weird place to be going for a dive bomb there. You know, desperation is starting to settle in as we're almost at the halfway stage of this F2 race there to finish out of the season. Are we going to be able to close the gap to Luca Giotto as we come out onto the back straight? I don't think we're going to be able to here, and it's going to look like Webber's going to be able to get a bit of a run on myself once more here in this race. We're going to try and go a little bit defensive there, and he's actually just going to stick the nose in on the outside there, completely unsettle the rear of the car. We almost run into the back of Luca Giotto there, and that could have been race over almost instantly there. Very dangerous behind with my teammate there, and honestly I thought up to this point, you know, we were getting on, we were quite good mates, and yeah, unfortunately just decides to go for something like that there. Once again trying to look round the outside in towards the chicane there, and yeah, unfortunately wouldn't be able to make that one work there. Is now on to lap 6 we go, trying to line up a move on Luca Giotto, going for a proper Formula 2 style desperate dive bomb there up the inside at the hairpin. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between the pair of us there, and now we're going to have the slipstream, the DRS, everything like that here. No ERS obviously on these F2 cars as well here, but yeah, just in the slipstream, trying to close up that gap. RB once again going to have to go for a bit of a dive there. We're certainly going to try and look for it there, try not to pinch the front tyres, actually get it timed absolutely beautifully, if I do say so myself there. And yeah, now we move ourselves up into P5 of this race. Onto the end though of lap 6, Nick de Vries really struggling with, I think he actually had a car issue at this stage of the race there. So George Russell and myself both going to try and capitalise on that there. We're going to try and go for a bit of a cheeky switchback move there, but unfortunately doesn't pay off. Just a wheel spin once again there, but we do send it right around the outside of Nick de Vries there. I'm sure Davide Valsecchi would go absolutely wild with that one there. But yeah, now up into P4 of this race, trying to close up to the rear of George Russell here. But you can see our rival though, Butler, has absolutely checked out at this late stage of the race there. He's already all over the back of, I think is it Matsushita in the lead of this race? I'm not 100% sure. It might be someone else, so I might have got that horrendously wrong at this late stage of the day there. But yeah, now on to lap 8, trying to close it to the rear of George Russell here as we come through turn 1 and turn 2 here. And you can just see we are going to be able to get that run. We're going to try and go for the same sort of move that I pulled off on my teammate earlier on there, and we do make it stick. And now up into P3 of this race there. My rival Butler though, a good few seconds up the road here, and sadly just really now starting to struggle with the tyre wear towards the end of this Grand Prix. You can see as we come onto lap 10, they're already up towards the 70% there. Webber is going to try and have a dive up the inside through turn 1. Then we're going to try and go for the switchback move on the exit. Yeah, these tyres are really struggling towards the end of this Grand Prix, and unfortunately just not able to quite keep him in check, and unfortunately just not look like we're going to be able to keep it close enough to Butler there in front there. You can see Markov, in fact, was actually now down into P2 of this race here. But unfortunately, it's looking for me like it's going to be heartbreak before the career mode has even begun as we head onto the final lap of this race. The tyres already up into the 80% here, really struggling with that front tyre grip in this race, and not too sure, you know, how the AI were able to keep them so well in check there. That sort of thing is probably not helping my case either there. As you can see, the rears are already up towards the 60% as well here. But, you know, it was definitely a learning experience doing sort of this proper race as well here as we now come down in towards the chicane. You know, really sort of felt I did learn a lot about the F2 cars. Like I've sort of mentioned in the past, I do actually want to sort of do a full F2 series on the channel, you know, sort of alongside the F1 career mode as well. I'll probably, you know, start thinking about that once we finish season 1 of career mode there, with the F2 cars, you know, running sort of a proper F2 style championship on F1 2019 as well. So obviously, if that's something you guys want to see, make sure you do get yourself subscribed there. But Webber would go for the move, and we get a puncture as we hit the brakes there, and unfortunately the heartbreak of not even being able to win the title on the road, unfortunately, is going to further unravel for ourselves there. Look at that, just fighting with the rear end there. We really just didn't want to lose out as little as possible here, trying to bring the car through the final few corners of this race, but I think it's just not going to be anything as we come in towards the chicane there, just running into the side of Luca Giotto there, and unfortunately on the exit there, dropping the rear end as well with no front grip in that tyre there, and unfortunately it's looking like our championship is all but over there. Drop the wheel into the wall as well there. Unfortunately, just nothing we could do with the car pulling it to one side. We're going to try and rejoin the racetrack. You know me, I'm not a quitter. Going to certainly try and bring this car through to the finish line there, as they actually get in the way of Fuoco as well. I mean, yeah, that was absolutely gutting, I'll be honest. The fact we weren't even going to win the title, you know, I can hold my hands up and admit, you know, we just didn't have the pace today. And then to get that on the final lap as well, just a really big sort of kick to the stomach in the final race of the championship. They're just trying to keep out of the way of everyone else as we come in towards the final couple of corners of this race. But yeah, absolute heartbreak for myself. They're out through the final corner of the race there. This puncture, yeah, really costed me a lot of time there as we try to rejoin the track there. And unfortunately, we are going to come back out in P19 there. I think we actually picked up a penalty as well during that puncture to drop us all the way down to P20. Not the race that I would have wanted at the end of the day.
It's been my privilege over the years to witness a number of great sporting events, and here's another to add to that prestigious list. It's the ultimate dream for any racing driver. We have a new Formula 2 World Champion. Victory for ART then, after a quality performance. Talk to me, Davide. Was it everything you hoped for?
Everything and more. He had it all. The rivalry, the tension, the excitement. These two drivers have been locked in fierce competition all season. And to see it comes down to head-to-head battle for the line like this, well, this kind of things doesn't happen very often. Deva's performance today has secured the championship, and he has every right to be proud of that. I'm just happy I was here to watch it.
Devin, much as it hurts, we admit that was a great drive today. Congratulations on the championship as well.
Well, I'm sure you thought you had me for a while, but I guess your luck just didn't hold out. Oh, I haven't got long. Could I have a quick word?
Sure.
Privately.
Oh, okay. I'll see you later then.
So, I'm sure you've probably already heard, but if you haven't, I'm going to be racing in the F1 Championship next year. Now, I don't know what your plans are, but let me give you some friendly advice. Don't try following me. Well, sure, you might get an offer from one of the smaller teams, probably someone desperate, and then you'll be stuck in P18 all season with car trouble. And you won't ever really be able to challenge me. But you stick it out here for another year, now that I'm gone, you've got a fighting chance of winning next year. And if you can manage that, I'm sure one of the larger teams would love to have you as a development driver. Oh, look out for yourself, yeah?
Man,
He does not want to race you. Stay in F2? Ridiculous.
I was listening to the whole thing. Too bad for Devon, though. I'd be shocked if you don't have an F1 contract offer already. And if my deal pans out, man, his head is going to explode.
Ah, welcome. Come on in. Take a seat. It's time we had the big conversation about your next move. Your performance at the F2 Championships last year got you a lot of attention from the Formula One teams. Some of it more positive than others. I'm not so concerned with who does or doesn't like you. You'll have plenty of time to win the doubters over. But I am concerned with our choices. They're narrowing as we haven't shown commitment to anyone. Now, as your agent, my advice is to make your decision now. We can worry about comfort and finer points further down the line. I need you to review these. You've earned every single one of these proposals. So take your time, have a read through, and don't get too hung up on specifics. Let's get you a Formula One seat.
So here we are then, ready to make our choice for Formula One. And obviously we've got all 10 options, luckily enough there. And like I said, I'm pretty certain, you do get every option for this career mode. And as I'm sure all of you guys are aware by this point of the video, I will be racing for Haas F1 for the 2019 season. So yeah, that is it. Us done for the opening, sort of episode 0, as I've called it, for the F1 2019 career mode. Like I said, make sure you do get yourself subscribed for more F1 2019 content on the channel. We will hopefully be heading to the Austrian the Australian Grand Prix even later on today as well. So yeah, make sure, like I said, you do get yourself subscribed for that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far as well, massively appreciated. But yeah, I will see you guys next time for round 1 at the Australian Grand Prix.